did all the research. She's also pulled and read every court document, including the
here's what I need to convey to everybody right now.
That they have in case. So I'm going to pass this
The
off to her.
Hammonds want to come and talk to us.
She'll be the best one to answer. And also, she met
by doing so, it's going to
everyone needs to know that. About 3-4 weeks ago.
If the Hammonds come to talk to us.
Okay, so beginning to end, fact checking. I'm just going to do a quick run through. Questions beyond that, grab me. I'm happy to answer them.
Just know that.
I'm not the official spokesperson of anything. Let's make that very clear right now. But I do a lot of intel, and I'm good at it. So in 1999, the Hammonds started a burn-off on their own property. That burn-off spilled over onto public land. If I hear any of one of you say federal land today, I will rip your head off. It's not federal land, this is Oregon's land.
That's right.
About approximately 140 acres was damaged. BLM did not expose any resources to help fight that fire.
Okay.
Not a single firefighter, not a single water truck. Okay? They were given a warning. Okay, fine. 2005, 2006, there were a couple of more instances where burn-offs were in fact done. And then there was also a back burn started on their own property in order to fight a wildfire that was threatening their property. Any one of us would have done the same thing to save our home. They had every right to do so. The wildfire burned land, and so did that back burn that the wildfire would have burned anyway. They were brought up on 19 felony federal counts, including malicious intent to destroy United States property, conspiracy to destroy United States property, domestic terrorism act for arson, and a number of other things. By the end of the first trial, there were approximately 3 charges left for each. Stephen and Dwight, I believe there was 4 for one. Dwight, who is the father, 70 years old at the time, was sentenced to 3 months in prison, a probationary period, along with $200,000 in restitution. For what? They never put out any resources. Stephen Hammond was sentenced to 1 year in prison, a period of probation, along with another $200,000 in restitution. That restitution was paid in full this last Thursday. They were told it had to be paid, and this community came together, is my understanding, and helped them out.
Yeah. Woo!
Now,
that's the American way.
Amen. The case went up to the Department of Justice for review. The U.S. District Attorney in this case did, under his own free will as a U.S. District Attorney judge, sentence them outside the guidelines. He broke a law, not the Hammonds. It went up to the Department of Justice. That judge has in fact retired since then. The Department of Justice said no, it's a 5-year mandatory minimum sentence on the terrorism charges. Okay? They sent it back down and told the prosecutor to go back after them. Go make them do the 5 years. That is in fact double jeopardy.
Did they do their time for the...
They had already served their time, come home, been home for over a year, were paying towards the restitution.
Clearly does.
Okay? They came back into court. The new judge did in fact agree with the Department of Justice and sentenced them to the 5-year sentences. I'm not going to get into all the details. There are a slew of constitutional rights run over in those documents. And if you'd like to read them, they're very easy to access on your own. Yes?
Is there an appeal right now?
Not that I'm aware of.
Why?
They missed the appeal date. The fact of the matter is Dwight Hammond is 73 years old. Myself, along with BJ, Ryan Payne was there, several other members in this crowd were there, and Dwight flat out said this is a life sentence for him. He knows when he leaves on Monday and he goes into the custody of the United States federal government, it will be the last time that he sees his family.
Then don't go.
Freedom.
Don't go.
Yeah, well, no. Is it a fact that Stephen and White will be going to prison on Monday?
It is a fact that they are due to turn themselves in on Monday, yes.
Only Stephen and Dwight?
Stephen and Dwight.
And then last night, the plan was still to go. And is anybody here on the ground here to interfere in that process?
Negative.
Thank you.
Negative. So, Sergeant Moe here asked, is anybody here going to stand in between the Hammonds and their free will and the decision that they've made to go ahead and comply with this unjust action? They have, by choice, said that they are not going to fight. They're going to turn themselves in on Monday morning. We are not going to stand in the middle of that. Otherwise, we are no different than the people forcing them to go back.
What are we here for?
The community. The community. This community is scared. We talked to them last night. I'm going to let Curtis touch on that. But listen, the reality of it is they have their 5th and their 8th Amendment rights have been run over. The original charges themselves should have never been brought up because BLM has mismanaged land all over the West, and they shouldn't have control over it. The people should be controlling that land.
Here.
So,
Do the Hammonds
beginning
want us
to end, this is a raw story.
Do the Hammonds want us here?
The Hammonds do want us here. BJ and I, where's BJ? We were all having dinner last night in the Apple Diner down the road, and BJ spotted Dwight and Susie over on the other side of the restaurant. BJ was there when we sat down with them. We walked over to say hello and just show our support, and I will tell you, and BJ will confirm, I'm sure, that Dwight and Susie both broke down into tears when they saw the two of us.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what, we can't show it on the outside for other reasons, but we truly appreciate what you guys are doing here in this community and what you are doing to inspire this community to stand on their own feet. It takes people like us, people who are not scared anymore, to empower those to put that scare aside and find the courage within themselves to stand. That's our job, to teach them.
Government terrorized them.
Amen.
Tell us your
Amen.
name again.
I'm sorry?
Tell us your name again.
Brooke.
Brooke with what?
Idaho 3%, sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
How many of you guys were at the town hall meeting last night? Okay, there's a few of you that were there. We held a town hall meeting to answer any questions from the community about why we're here, what our role is, and to show some transparency. One of the things that I saw last night while we were there was 2 other gentlemen that came out and stepped in front of the community who are members of this community that are going through the same thing as the Hammonds. It seems to be a pattern here. One gentleman's 21 years old and he's being charged as domestic terrorist for arson because his fireworks innocently lit up a firework that caused a grass fire, very small. Again, no resources were used to put it out.
40 acres.
Okay? So that's what we're seeing here. We saw another gentleman pulled me aside after the meeting. He didn't want to step out in front of everybody, but he did confide in us. Same thing. Started a small fire. I believe it was a campfire or something to that effect. It was less than 20 acres. Him and 3 others were being charged as domestic terrorists from the federal court system. He was not charged as a domestic terrorist because he's a military man. So he asked for his military hearing. So they instantly said, okay, no problem, shut him aside, gave him what he wished. The other 3, 21 years in prison, $600,000 in fines. Wow. Members of this community. So it's not just about the Hammonds, guys.
Young kids, they're in their 20s.
They're in their 20s. Hammonds are in their 70s.
Yeah,
So it's not.
No, it's about the whole
It's not.
country.
It's not about age. It's not about anything. It's about this community being trampled on, and they're being bullied. 70%, almost 70% of this community is government dependent, whether they work for the federal government, U.S. Forest, or BLM, or using the services provided to them. So this community is afraid to stand up because they'll lose those things. There's ranchers that have BLM leases. If they speak out, they won't renew their leases where they can't graze their cattle and raise their cattle and make a living. Do we see the problem here? Do we see the problem?
Yeah.
So this isn't about anyone here. This is bigger. It's bigger than the Hammonds. It's bigger than anyone standing in this parking lot. It's about a community. We need to have these communities stand up and form organizations to protect themselves, just like we're all doing right here. This is how it gets done, guys. This is the public saying we're tired. We're not going to take any more. We've had it. There's no agendas here. We're not here to start any violence. We're here to make a stand and be a voice. This is peaceful, and this is how change happens. Are we all on board with that?
Yeah!
Are we going to allow this to keep happening? No! And we will go to Burns, we will go to Boise, we will go to Bend, we'll go to Washington, we will go to Iowa, we'll go to Arizona. We don't care. We're coming. Woo! Because we've had it. We're done.
Our country.
The Republic of the people are tired. And it starts right here in this parking lot, guys. So the next time this happens, are you guys coming? Yeah! Are you bringing your friends? Yeah! Are you bringing your family? Yeah! We're done with it. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. So if anyone has any questions more in depth about what we talked about, come grab any of us. We'll be glad to answer them. We're waiting on a convoy to get here from Ben. When they get here,
Can you hold this for me for a while?
yeah, if we can just continue to squeeze in and respect Safeway's wishes, they've been great to us. We don't want to upset them. The other thing, everyone, just so you guys know, Safeway has brought in a big shipment of flowers. They're selling them to us under $10. I guess basically their cost for the Hammonds. Specifically for this rally, they did that for us. So if you guys want to buy those to put on the Hammonds driveway when we walk by, or their walkway, please do that. That's what they're there for. Safeway did that for us, okay?
Question.
Answer?
There is a rumor that
No.
the Hammonds don't want flowers put on their property. Is that true?
We have not heard that.
Okay, just heard that.
We have not heard that.
It's a rumor.
We've been getting a lot of
Hearsay. A lot of rumors.
I can answer that loud and clear.
Yeah.
I received a message from Susie, from some of the locals, that they're very happy to receive the flowers, and when it's all said and done, we're going to box them up and take them to the hospital and one of the old folks' homes to distribute that way. So they're not just going to go over there and rot in the snow. We're going to actually do something
You
with
guys
them, okay?
hear that? I'm buying flowers. I'm going to support Safeway supporting us here today and buy those flowers. And then they're going to go to the hospital, right?
correct.
All right, I'm supporting that.
But the other thing too is she brings up a good point. How the Hammonds said this or the Hammonds said that. We got hammered with that at the town hall meeting last night. And my response to them, every one of them sitting in that room, have you guys went and knocked on their door and asked them what they want? The answer is no. Okay? We need to also encourage communities to go and help these people, go knock on their door, be neighbors, say, what can we do to help you? Because that's not happening here.
Oh, amen.
One of the gentlemen that did step forward, the 21-year-old, said that if he felt supported by his community, he would have fought those federal charges. But he was afraid. That's what we have to change, guys. That's what we have to change in the communities. Okay? We have to win hearts and minds, and we only do that by being professional, speaking facts, talking about facts, and maintaining the moral high ground. That's what we're here for. No other ulterior motive, no agendas. Period. And if anyone has an issue with that, you come see me directly. Okay? Any other questions, we'll field for you. Thank you all for coming.